I'll do it. I'll do it for the practice. This was mostly review. I don't think there's anything here that we haven't talked about before. I'd say we're in good shape. So we're going to get ready to practice if there's no other thoughts about this.
Diana,
Yes.
I just wanted to make a brief comment. I had mentioned, I think at retreat, that two people in particular, my mother-in-law and my neighbor, are both actively dying, and I just, I've been present with them both, and I just realized that I suffer when I separate myself from them dying. My
Yes.
mother-in-law is dying. My neighbor is dying, not me. And I realize it would probably be better if to be honest with you, if we were all dying.
Yeah.
And
Well, we
so
are handily, Jim.
it just makes more sense to me. It's
Yeah.
easier. It's a better way to relate to what they're going through than to
Yes.
separate. And so
That's
that's a
exactly
helpful
right.
thing for me.
Yes, that's lovely and actually so accurate. And we forget, I think, don't we? Jim, you've worked with death and dying your whole career, devoted to it. And in fact, probably at least half that time, if not more, we spend our time thinking that we're going to help people avoid death rather than help them have some sense of agency uh, as it relates to death. Now, nobody gets to control it either, but the way we are, uh, and by the way, as a doctor, I'm guessing that the way Jim could hold the reality of life and death, both as a doctor and now as a friend, a son in law, and a neighbor, is going to, by the way, have a lot to do with how this ultimately can also unfold because his willingness to die, literally, I think he just said, is going to allow others some potential to be with that reality, wouldn't it? As well? Like, I'm going to let go of knowing, controlling, predicting, um, which is why Carrie always says, right, the practice is Jono practice, and then really allow oneself to be fully there. And I think it is because we're also dying. I think that's the essential resistance, isn't it? Is that we have to turn towards this reality, is that my mouth is going to gape open at some point also, as I was watching my father in law, who was in our foyer, dying, and family coming in and out, liked it or not. By the way, often not liking it because he was not hidden in a room. He was right here with us all. I thought, well, if only I could get my mouth to stay closed, if somebody could just, it would be better. And I actually had the thought and sort of thought to myself, this is nuts. Uh, this is the last thing you're going to be concerned about at the time of death is that your mouth is gaping open and, right, that letting completely go, that nothing is here to hold us more than consciousness and that which we have trained to do at the time of death. And now I'm focused on if only I could get my mouth taped shut, it would all work better. Right? And then we get to just simply acknowledge the truth that no matter how many years you've trained, no matter, right, the reality of death and its lack of control, not going to be able to dictate, it is uncertain, is uh, going to be all of ours. Mouth open or not, neighbor or self. And in fact, it's better that we release and remove all of the barriers that we've set up. The other guy over there, my father in law over there, and not so, not so. All right, let's practice together. And so we begin by just making contact with the reality of this ever changing body sitting right here. And we can sense that ever present change in a couple of ways. We can feel the ever available micro movements. It's continuous, um, often associated with, but not only, including the breath. And I love the breath for its continuing change reality. There's nothing static or stuck or fixed about the breath at all. And so we're just making contact with that. And then to resource ourselves, we talked a lot about resourcing during retreat. We resource ourselves by recollecting what? The good. The good where? Well, the good that has come throughout all the lineage, the traditions, all the awakened ones, the Buddhas, the Christs, whatever your faith, and however you frame it, it's all talking about the same thing, this reality of a way of being beyond simply this human body. We know love to be this thing, well beyond the ideas of I, me, and mine. And alive, whether we are here or not. We reflect on all those who have contributed to our well-being. In fact, the reality is everything, truly everything, has contributed to your well-being to be here. We remember that goodness now. We recollect our own goodness, our own contributions, not only to ourselves, but to others, and how this world would not be okay without you and your contributions as well. And then we commit ourselves to continuing. And we continue here and now, not later, not Thursday at the North County San Diego Food Bank. We contribute this very moment by our very willingness to abide the truth of this human life, to abide the realities that how we are interconnects and is with all things, and that we make the commitments to no harm, to contributing something to the good beyond oneself, and that we do so for all beings, that this is our vow and our task. Can I open wide enough, large enough, to move beyond just thinking about me, to including you? And by its very nature, this view shift, by its very nature, puts us right on the Bodhisattva path. Not just me, but you. And with that bodhicitta heart, we abide each breath. And then we begin to turn towards the realities of impermanence, noticing impermanence everywhere, from the staccato nature of my voice coming and going, the bell being rung, moving into silence. We have a ticking clock here. It ticks and stops. And we'll just rest for a moment in this reality of impermanence in all things. And so we can begin that impermanence in one of two ways, depending on your attention and what sustains you there. We can either just touch on objects as we're sitting, the clock, the voice, the breath, noticing everything in its birthing and deathing. Or we could focus very specifically and primarily on the breath itself. And some people toggle between them for a moment. Just see how it's true for you. I can hear the clock, so I don't try to unhear it. But my primary attention and focus is on the reality of the impermanence of this very breath. Not some other breath and not all breath, but this very breath. We're not controlling the breath. We're not manufacturing or fabricating anything about either the breath or one's perspective on the breath. We're seeing if we can let go of all thoughts about the
Leave it.
breath
Leave it.
for the breath itself. See if you can't make contact with that.
Leave it, Tika. Good girl.
And you'll see that at the end of the breath in particular, or at the close of the object as it fades, there is an essential letting go practice here. The breath is easy because it completes and opens us into that vast open space at the end. So it's a beautiful object for this practice. And then we have the essential practice offered to us by the Tibetans, of course, to simply rest in the open space. This is a lot like dying into. We let go of the dhyana, we let go of the body stops and moves into stillness. Can we open completely into the groundlessness at the end of that out-breath? Let's practice for several moments. See if you can fully arrive to that open space and see if you can let go and just completely rest there. And allow yourself to rest there as long as the mind can abide. Which may mean that you can move right from the open space into the in-breath with that same groundlessness, that the space all around the in-breath is still available. The in-breath does not diminish it. Open space with the in-breath. Open space with the out-breath. And the primary focus will move as it will. There is no forcing from the breath as the primary object to the open space. And let it come as it will. At the time of death, you're going to be asked to let go into open space more and more. The breath will be less and less available. If every moment is a death, this is essential practice. And you can see the shift, can't you? There is no more, let me get what I can, let me hold on to things, because we can get the strong sense that this is in fact exactly where suffering arises. It doesn't mean that there's not the pinch or the grip here. This is a part of being human. But the pinch or the grip, the tight chest or the tight spot will also simply come and go. Not me, not mine, not I. Nothing to get rid of. We keep our attention in the reality of everything dissolving, every moment. There is no bypassing or spiritual entertainment here. This is simply the spade work, I call it, of being alive and of dying, fully present to the realities of both right now. everyone is dying at the same rate because everyone is dying one breath at a time. But there is not only dissolution here, there is also the reality of awakening, and they are always co-occurring. We are awakening to the reality of impermanence, awakening to the reality and the urgency then of this precious present moment. And we can invite and invoke what is most important to us right here and right now. That might be love. It might be compassion for oneself and all those dying. It might be compassion for the living and the confusion and the suffering and the possibilities all present here. With each in-breath then, as long as we're getting them, we can invite a very determined, committed quality of heart-mind. Can I be most open right now? Most loving, most kind? Can I feel not only for myself, given these essential realities, can I feel for us all? Everyone's dying this very moment. And then for me, there is an absolute a co-occurring liberation. There's not enough time now to be something else. Can I just be what I have here to be? Can I love those who I love? Can I care for those I care for? This becomes most urgent. Can I regard myself for the good I have attempted? And can I rest with that? And rather than bring judgments, self-doubt, criticisms, comparing, can I simply let it be? And then again, with the next moment of awakening, can I propagate the good? Recollecting it, remembering it, and committing to it with this very breath. That means good to oneself as well. See if you can let the body soften and relax a little bit more. Watch what you're holding. An opinion, a perspective. Uh-oh, did I get that right? And see if we can simply let it go. Whatever it is, it was past until we arrive here. How do I live with this breath? How do I die with this breath? And the dying, though it is not physical, and is also physical, what we can let die are all the belief thoughts, all the storylines, all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, all the if onlys, all the but not you, but me. Each breath is an opportunity to free ourselves from that gripping, grasping, clinging, and rejecting mind. Remember, the cause of suffering is this, not the reality of death. What is it you would need to rest with, put down, let go, let be, so that you don't drag it into the next breath? Believe thoughts about X or Y or Z. It shoulda, why didn't I, how come, if only, all suffering. And then can you just be here? Life is precious. Death is uncertain. And precisely because life is uncertain, this moment is precious. And we can choose to open, to be here, to be in the body, however it is. And be watchful of the practice we too often engage in, which is trying to get rid of something or trying to keep it. They are both failed. There's no way to be with that. Can we just be with whatever's here? And there may be a fear, a sorrow, an uncertainty, a tenderness. Can we simply let it also be? And as we do this, we are cultivating a wholehearted presence. If I can be with my own death, I will be able to be with Henry's. Or with my family members who I love. It doesn't mean it doesn't break us open as well. And it's okay. And I can always take my own hands and place them on or near my heart, remembering that this is simply a part of this being human. This confusion, this fear, this reluctance, this resistance. And that there is no escape. This is part of it. There's nothing to change, nothing to do differently. Can we simply acknowledge, be with, breathe with, bear witness? Remembering that this reality of impermanence, uncertainty, ever-present change, and death is something we are continuously being with, working with, even resisting. Can I feel for myself and all those just like me who feel this too? Can I offer some kindness, some understanding, some tender care right in the face of this grip? And as Pema says, we can turn towards the blade rather than run, rather than shut down or look the other way. We can ever so slightly, very gently, breath by breath, begin to turn towards that grip, that contractedness. I can feel it in my own chest. There's nothing to get rid of here. Can I be with myself in these moments of recollecting impermanence, change, and death, however I am? And this very presence, this very mindfulness will serve us now and now. may I use this very experience, whatever it is, to awaken. Bringing self-compassion, kindness, right here to oneself, also dying. But not only dying, we are also awakening. And can we invite both the realities of the dissolution with each breath and the reality of being able to use even this towards greater openness, greater compassion, greater wisdom, and that it will certainly impact how you live this day and how you live right now. And we can be joyful for this, and we also can then uh, cultivate that urgency. Do it now, live it now, love it now. Be most present right now. I'm going to read the dedication from our retreat to end our practice today. I think it's pretty apt. Whatever goodness or understanding has been arisen through this practice today, we offer it freely for the benefit of all beings. May those who are suffering find comfort. May those who are afraid discover courage. May those who feel alone know they are held in the great web of life and in our own hearts and minds. May we learn to meet our lives with openness, and may our awareness of impermanence help us live with wisdom, compassion, kindness, and gratitude. Knowing the truth of this life. How shall we live? May all beings everywhere awaken from this practice with these merits, and may they be free. May we all be free. And may this practice benefit all beings everywhere, without exception, omitting none. So be it. And so just take a moment and drop in a little bit, seeing what you notice. And then for those who were in retreat and those who were just here for this practice, let's talk for a moment about the impact, what you're noticing about this practice and its impact on your heart, mind, and body now, and also for those who have gone through retreat.
For me, it had a strong, uplifting, like it was almost like the world is my oyster every time I died with the breath, and then
Yes.
my in breath. It was pretty uplifting. Is all I can describe it. I think.
Yes. We have every potential. No fragments, we call it. Nothing we have to attend to from there. Everything fresh, available, most right here. And then what we choose is based on that, not yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. And I've always got to be the one. And right, we bring lots of not only tasking, like I got to do all this, we bring a lot of ideas about who we are, how we're supposed to be, and we let those die as well. Because then, of course, guess what? You're reborn, fresh, new, every moment. The possibilities are right here that I can be whatever is asked, whatever is most needed, without some idea about myself or idea about how it should have gone or the other, or if only them or if only me. We drag a lot with us into the present moment in a way that generally does not serve us. It generally does not. So I'm glad you felt that, Felicia. That is the idea of liberation, that the reflections on impermanence is, it says, guaranteed to cultivate. Liberation, freedom, ease, nothing to do but be here, nothing to do but be here, and then here. And then why not show up completely? What would keep you from it? Well, there is no idea about how I'm supposed to be now. I'm just arriving. I have no idea. What if we could just walk into the room of life like that, just here to see how I might contribute, how, right, what the benefits might be, how we can connect, And that is actually every moment. And anything else we're doing is something we're holding, right? Something we're holding on to, some other idea about how we're supposed to be or it's supposed to be. Other thoughts? Thank you.
I wrote this. It's Robin.
Yeah.
I sort of had an opposite reaction today, because as we were meditating, I was thinking of my girlfriend's daughter who had passed away, and she's 26. That happened several months ago, and then it made me reminisce about some other friends of some other kids that had passed, and there's a hard recollection of, for me, when young people pass, because you feel like you don't, like they haven't served their life. But
Yes.
then the meditation made me think, well, like, what is life? How long is life? What are we given? What are we not?
Yes.
So
That's right. No one likes the idea of what we call death off time or not in right timing. And the young, of course, and the younger, the worse it is. And then we also have to recollect the reality that there are many people who have lived to be very old who have also not lived their lives, who have also not had opportunity, who have not taken the opportunities that they were given. And so, it's an interesting idea that we have that if you're young, you have not lived fully, and somehow if you're old, you have, or the idea that if you're old, you got at least the chance. Well, no, in fact, there's only moment by moment, is all there is. And some of us will get 80 years, some of us will get 6 years, some of us will get 60 years. And because of this idea that death should come at a certain age stage after X or Y, I think it is made more difficult, Robin. And I don't think we change that. I don't think there's some. Uh, I think it's just with an understanding that we like that shouldn't happen, or it shouldn't happen to that person, or it shouldn't have happened now, or it's right, and we're all doing it. Well, not right because well they just got married. Oh, that wasn't good because and why we see the potential for life, which is beautiful. But then hopefully what comes with that is the urgency to do it now because nothing is certain. It doesn't mean after the wedding you get 45 years, does it? At all. There's nothing committed to that. We just bring these ideas and we suffer, I think, to some extent. I hope what we can cultivate is urgency, since in fact we do not know that I'm going to have another anniversary. I live this one fully, completely, and most lovingly, most wholeheartedly. Because we get a little sloppy, don't we? We go, well, there's Tuesday, and then there's Wednesday,
I
and
can do that tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow. And then the things like the surgeries, my surgery and Carrie's today, the reality of surgery is also wakes you up a little. It does. It wakes you to kind of, well, there is no necessarily tomorrow, even though the odds and blah, 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 blah. Right. In some way, it'd be better if we lived like that always. I only have now, in fact. I don't have forever, is true. And how do I use this moment then in the most loving, most available, most beneficial way I might? And I smile at that because now it just feels like an opportunity. It doesn't feel like a burden and it doesn't feel like a problem. It feels like, yeah, how do I do it best now? Um, which is an invitation, I think, to us all, isn't it? And then it's not morbid. So you just notice as we're talking about this, even with the realities of uncertain death, even with the realities that those who are not deserving of dying, I don't know what that means, but right, die, then we go, so live purposefully, live intentionally, live your life, live it. And I don't think that means, just go on vacation. I think it means live it alive today on a Tuesday uh, as you can. And I think that's really good news because I believe there could be less problems and more peace in the world if we just knew uh, that. In fact, Ajahn Chah says if you let go a little, you'll have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you'll have a lot of peace. And if you let go completely, you'll have complete peace. And that letting go is of these ideas that if only, if, what about, um, right? That we just truly arrive to what is here and available. And we're practicing that all the time, all of us. Pema says, only to the extent that we expose ourselves over and over to annihilation is the extent to which we become indestructible. We become indestructible because now there's no focus on what happens when it isn't. We're focusing completely on, okay, and here it is, this one moment. How do I live this? And Roshi Joan, she says, being present to suffering uh, is important uh, without collapsing into it. Being present to suffering is important without collapsing into it. And can we? Yeah, and the answer is yes. We can train. We can abide. So, anything else? It's an important topic, isn't it? All right.
Hi,
Yes. Hi, Marie. I think that's you.
it's Marie.
Yeah.
Um, Always very helpful. I've been watching myself run around before I leave the country, hopefully in 24 hours, trying to organize everything in a way that is going to make me feel okay.
Yeah.
And it just makes me laugh
Yeah.
because that isn't possible. Well, if only the painters do what they're supposed to when I'm gone and my brother, you know, doesn't, I don't know, leave the freezer open. And it's like, really? Could you just
Yeah.
stop and take a breath and like know that it's going to be okay no matter what happens, and especially when you're contemplating death and every moment, as the Bhutans say, contemplating death 5 times a day. Like, okay, I'm going to die. The person next to me on the plane is just as concerned about how annoying I'm going to be as a seatmate as I am about them. And,
Yeah. And
and
nobody
to
has
just
control
laugh
over any of that. Right. And
because,
you're less likely to be annoying, is the real truth with the reality. The real truth is you're going to probably be a pretty okay seatmate because you're going, look, I understand the realities that we're all have our preferences and we all like things a certain way and right. And we only have now. So what do I want to do with this relationship? How do I want to live this one called seatmate? Because you may be it.
well, and to just be kinder to myself and everybody else, recognizing that we're all trying to, as you would say, arrange the chairs on the Titanic.
We are. We are. And the plane
And
and the car
like,
and the
right,
bike.
just it's okay. Just be nicer and breathe, and
Yeah.
it just makes so
You
much
just
easier.
become nicer. I don't even know if you have to try. I think once you realize we're all vulnerable and we're all dying, as Jim was referencing, then the truth is kindness seems to be the thing you can do.
Right. There's no other choice that you would actually make under
Yeah,
those circumstances.
right? It just would make sense. And then the truth is the freezer door does get left open. And the painter didn't catch the thing. And the uh, And we work with that. That just becomes a part of this being alive, is that half the things that are happening, we don't have any authority or control over. And we get a little easier with ourselves and others in the truth of that. And kinder, I think, is the beautiful outcome.
Well, there's a freedom in knowing that I can not prefer something or not choose something, and that it's still okay.
Yeah.
I
And it
can still
doesn't mean
be
you don't
okay.
prefer it. I'd rather my freezer work, like most of us, wouldn't you? It would be true. All right, Marie, have a fabulous trip. Be well and safe on that trip. I know you're going to
Thank
be
you.
cycling, so have a great time and also be safe. Again, to the extent that we are able, given that who knows anything. Why don't we take a moment? If there's not anything else, let's take a moment to do the Bodhisattva prayer. We will send Carrie and Marie off with that. By the way, as well as the rest of us, because even if we don't have a big thing, we have life in front of us this very day. And by the way, nobody knows anything about how that day unfolds. Even when you're not having the plumbers in and the painters there and your brother um, showing up for who knows what, uh, the whole of the day is unpredictable, except I think for how we choose to live it. I don't think that has to be unpredictable. I think that can actually be done on purpose. I think we get to choose exactly how we choose to enter and be in this day and then in these moments. And I know from our practice we're going to do a better job than we would have otherwise. I'm certain about it. And thank you all for that.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dennis.
Oh, I wanted I wanted to share that when I was holding my Tinkerbell when she went on her way, there was a profound stillness, a real deep listening, and then the profound knowing
Yes,
as she went on her way.
that's right. And then we're free. We're free with Tinkerbell because there's not more to do than be present to the mystery of this. And, on the way to, I don't know either. I just know that we're all doing it. And that we're doing it not only at that moment of transition, we're doing it continuously. And can we be fully awake to that, both in ourselves and in others? Because when I remember that everyone's dying, I'm a little nicer. When I remember that there's everything you're letting go of, just like me, every moment, I have a strong sense of kinship. No matter the color, no matter the outfit, no matter the right, that we're all really going through this thing, and that it is both beautiful and brutal,
Yeah.
all, all at the same
And
time.
there seemed to be some part of me that was, call it spirit. I don't have words for it, that was going on with her.
Yes, yes, I know that to be true as well, Dennis. As I have been with the dying, there is a part of us that's both born into a certain kind of holding space for that, as well as a part that's dying as well. Yeah, it's all true. And by the way, I've only seen it as beautiful. I have not experienced death as horrible.
So
Uh,
very liberating.
yeah, yeah, it's like okay, it can be okay. We can do this thing together. So we'll keep practicing with those out breaths.
Yeah. See
Right?
you on the other side.
Yes, yes. Of like right now. Here we are. Here we are at this moment. Let's place our hands together and reflect on the realities of the mystery of this human life, as well as the infinite web reality, each of us impacting the other, if not with discrete actions, with a quality of heart mind. The heart mind we bring changes, shapes everything. And so we offer this prayer to that. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all be happy. May we all be free from pain and suffering. May we remember with gratitude the realities of this precious human life and share our resources and our good fortune so that all beings can be free. May we rest and dwell in that vast, open, and groundless space, inviting and invoking tenderness, kindness, care, compassion, wisdom, and peace. May we fill the space with our goodness. And may this practice today contribute, and may it continue until all beings are awakened and free. And may it be so this very day. So be it. Live this day well. Blessings to you all.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Jim. So good to see you. We will not be in the garden this Saturday because I will be in Palm Springs celebrating my anniversary, but we will be on Zoom. And I think it is Denise Funfar who's going to be guiding for us at 7:30 on Saturday. So looking forward to seeing you all then. And we have Thursday for those who are in town, Thursday, North County San Diego Food Bank meeting at La Costa Park and Ride at 5:30 to get us up there together in a carpool so we're not driving too many vehicles. And it's a very fun 2 hours, little less, and the contribution feels very significant. So thank you all for that. Be well, everyone. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Probably not till next Tuesday, unless I'm on this Thursday. We'll see. So take good care. Be well, everyone.
Take care. Whoop it up, Diane. Whoop it
Yes,
up.
yes, for
Good
sure.
trip.
Thank you all.
By how many years?
45. Well, actually, we were together 10 years before we married. So we've actually been together 55 years and married 45 of those
Congratulations.
55.
Woohoo!
It feels like a really big deal. I must say, and you know what? I still like the guy. He's even kind of grown on me. So that's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you all so much.
In your garden. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Be well, everyone.